Hello everyone, Justin Vacula here with another episode of the Stoic Philosophy Podcast. Today's episode is titled Finding Meaning in Work. Visit my website at justinvacula.com, where you can find links to my social portals, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and see past content on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. Support me on my patreon.com page, in which I offer several rewards to supporters. I explore the tradition of Stoicism with goals to inform, empower, and help others benefit from practical wisdom of ancient Greek, Roman, and modern thinkers, including Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca. For the Stoics, a main focus is pursuing virtue to attain a well-examined life through practical applications of philosophy, acting with good character, using reason to form accurate, careful judgments about the world, and achieving contentment. Stoic writers focus on many perennial human concerns and urge people to take action, applying what they learn to everyday life. Self-improvement is central to Stoic thought, strengthening and improving one's mindset. Today's episode is brought to you by a donation from a supporter who requested an episode focusing on finding meaning in work. Thanks for your topic request. Full-time work and even part-time work, whatever it is, can take up a significant portion of someone's life, have an impact on one's life satisfaction, happiness, or contentment, and may lead one to define themselves based on their workplace role. Conflict and concerns at work can also spill over to life outside work, and a sense of purposelessness, isolation, and repetition can lead one to be unsatisfied with life. People may also feel stuck or trapped in a position which has little room for advancement or improvement. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, talks about taking action and doing the work of a human being, rather than remaining at home and perhaps squandering our short lives. Your task at work, while it might seem to lack meaning, serves some sort of purpose and keeps the world going. Marcus writes, "In the morning, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to do the work of a human being. Why then am I dissatisfied if I am going to do the things for which I exist and for which I was brought into the world? Or have I been made for this, to lay under the blankets and keep myself warm?" So how can we find meaning in work? Optimally, we want to find a job which matches our interests, skills, and values. Perhaps someone values making a contribution to society and derives purpose through helping others and would not like packing boxes in a warehouse, for instance, which doesn't seem to them to have a large impact of societal good. Maybe working in a customer service position wouldn't be a good fit for people who would prefer a more quiet job with a low degree of social interaction. Maybe someone likes to work individually rather than in a team setting. Mismatch between preferences and what one's job is can cause one to find low satisfaction in work. If you're currently unemployed and looking for work, consider being more careful in your job search and not compromising too much with your job selection. Consider taking career inventories, available for free online, to be aware of your skills and preferences. Ask trusted friends and family members about their appraisals. If you're currently employed and do not find meaning in your work, consider looking for a new position, but changing environment and job might not be a remedy for dissatisfaction in life. Evaluating your mindset and changing the way you handle situations, view challenges, cope with difficulties, could lead to more contentment and gratitude for your current situation. Perhaps your options for changing jobs are limited, so if that's the case, you can work on being more accepting of your current position while also looking to change the situation as much as you can. Might you think that your job is like a grind, that you're repeating the same tasks again and again and not really applying yourself as you think you could? Maybe the people you work alongside with annoy you, aren't good companions like your trusted friends, and don't provide a good deal of intellectual fulfillment or whatever else you might be looking for. Maybe the work itself may not seem to provide you meaning, but perhaps you can adopt a new role to be social and entertain people, work to put a smile on other faces, listen to others' stories, and find ways to improve your aptitude through utilizing different methods, researching for new ways to do things, and looking for feedback from others. An attitude of acceptance can be helpful in being more content with work and finding meaning. We can accept the workplace for what it is, rather than becoming cynical, complaining, and dreading going to work, especially if changes we make fail to provide more meaning in our lives. We can say that this is only a part of our lives, work, and look forward to other areas of our life. We can have work-life balance in gaining meaning through our hobbies, interactions outside of work, travel, nature walks, exercise, or whatever it is that you enjoy. We can accept that not all areas of our lives will be optimal. Can we even have a perfect job? Surely there will be some elements, especially when we're dealing with other people whose behaviors we can't control, but no matter how hard we may try, others will repeat their behaviors and not live up to our expectations, no matter how reasonable we might see the expectations. Other coworkers might not perform their tasks well, contribute little effort, and be difficult to deal with. We can anticipate this and not be so distraught when expectations are not met. Instead, we can work to improve ourselves, maintain good work performance, and be more accepting of what's outside of our control. Maybe we expect to have extremely meaningful experiences on a regular basis and become distraught when we fail to experience elevated moods through what we can consider larger doses of meaning. However, these experiences can be rare. Maybe your work won't contain great experiences every hour or every day, and you'll have a good deal of downtime or repetition of certain tasks. Maybe you won't always get to apply yourself on a large level, and your contributions won't be recognized. A cure for this lack of meaning may be to expect less and look for more meaning outside of work. We can accept that work will sometimes, or even most of the time, have dull moments. Is it reasonable to expect a great deal of meaning on a frequent basis, especially when some of the novelty of work may wear away, when we're not learning as much, when we're more situated in our tasks, and work seems more and more mundane? In his letter titled On Nature as Our Best Provider, Seneca writes, "There have been found persons who crave something more after obtaining everything, so blind are their wits, and so readily does each man forget his start after he has got under way." Reducing our cravings for so much meaning and accepting that it can be more difficult to find later in experiences at work can help us be more content. Here's another passage dealing with acceptance from Seneca's letter titled On the Conflict Between Pleasure and Virtue. He writes, "To have whatsoever he wishes is in no man's power, if it is in his power not to wish for what he has not, but cheerfully employ what comes to him." If we can reduce our desires, our expectations, and not become angry or annoyed because things aren't the way we prefer, we can be more content about our current situation in life or work. We don't want to just employ an attitude of passive resignation in all situations, though. As I mentioned, we can work to influence change, but in many cases, no matter our efforts, the status quo persists. We can work to be more tranquil in situations we may find and bear them the best we can. We can work to deal well with adversity and not allow our mood to drastically change given circumstances at work. We can look for support from others to cope with adversity, even other coworkers, and make a good effort to get through the workday with little stress, not compounding problems and creating emotional distress of our own making. We can experience a sense of gratitude focusing on the positive areas of our work, whatever they may be, that we have a steady stream of income, that we are recognized for our efforts, that we're applying ourselves in some way, that others enjoy being in our presence. Again, not all areas of work or life may be optimal, but surely some things are going well. Rather than focusing on negatives and perhaps taking good things for granted, we can have a more balanced view of our work situation. And if work becomes too intolerable, we can work to transition to a new position, perhaps gain more qualifications, take a new career path, return to school, or make other changes. Some may find themselves working too many hours and neglecting other important areas of life. Perhaps a remedy for this could be found in reducing desires outside of work, not spending as much money, and being content with a more minimalist life, with fewer material possessions, less spending on food, which can come about by reducing times eating out, ordering delivered food, and preparing more food at home. We can create a budget spreadsheet if we don't already have one, and eliminate areas of our spending. If our monthly expenses are lessened, we can feel a reduced urge to spend our time working, and won't need to meet certain self-imposed monetary goals each month or year. We can find that happiness can come with less, and look for it not in a lavish lifestyle, but instead in time with others, time to ourselves, and in expensive hobbies. Buy clothes in a thrift or discount store rather than being concerned with brand names and current fashion trends. Limit entertainment expenses. Track your spending and avoid many impulse buys. Go to a grocery store with a shopping list and stick to it. Reduce snack foods. Cease to link food with pleasure and eat simply while eating healthy. Spending too much time at work can lead to exhaustion, burnout, and fatigue. Perhaps you're working too much to afford certain things you don't really need and can instead reduce time at work by reducing your expenses. Seneca generally laments greed and striving for great wealth, noting that they come with a price. A more simple life allows for contentment and reduces many worries and problems which come with desire for a lavish life. In his letter titled On the Superficial Blessings, he writes, "For one must pay the penalty for all greedy acts, although the greed is enough of a penalty in itself. What tears and toil does money wring from us? Greed is wretched in that it craves, and wretched in that which it wins. Think besides of the daily worry which afflicts every possessor in proportion to the measure of its gain." If a desire for more money and more possessions we don't really need causes us to work more, and more work results in lower life satisfaction and reduced work-life balance, we've created a really vicious cycle for ourselves. Maybe meaning can also be found in using money we gain from work to help others. Maybe charitable giving is important to you. You can view work as a temporary stage of life even, a means to an end that will allow you to be financially secure and pursue other interests. Maybe you'll build money to take more time off of work, return to school, travel to spend time with friends and family, or pursue other interests, money can allow for security and flexibility. Even if we're unsatisfied in work, we can work to find some benefit, even when we're lacking motivation in getting out of bed in the morning. To recap, we can find meaning in work through finding a job which matches our skills, interests, and values, adopting a new role at work, looking to make changes in the workplace, or even finding new work, changing our mindset by having more gratitude and acceptance, reducing our expectations, having more work-life balance, spending less time at work, and recognizing that all jobs serve a purpose. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more content. Visit my website at justinvacula.com, where you can find links to my social portals, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and see past content on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. Consider donating if you support my work and would like to see more, for this takes time, money, and effort to produce content. Support me on my patreon.com page, in which I offer several rewards to patrons. Perhaps you'd like to support me and suggest a future topic through your donation, like today's episode. Have a great day.